we welcome you to the Digital Governance Tech Summit. Technologies like cloud, AI, IoT are redefining the way we work. Today's summit is all about developing our skills to share and enhance our skill sets to the next level of transformation. To start, we will be having a fireside chat. Please put your hands together for the CEO, NITI Aayog, Government of India, Shri Amitabh Kant. And also put your hands together for the President, Microsoft India, Anant Maheshwari.
Great to have you here. A very, very good morning to everyone here. It is a full house, and I walked in from the back and was quite excited to see everybody gathered here already. And I know you have a very short time. You made special time just to be here. So I'll get started very, very quickly. The Prime Minister has talked about the 5 trillion dream for the Indian economy, and he's spoken about IT and digital and AI being a big part of it. It will be great to hear from you the overall roadmap and how AI, cloud, and digital fits into this 5 trillion mission.
Yeah. Anand, let me first congratulate you on this very unique initiative of doing this one-day workshop here and making everybody future ready, because we are in the midst of some of the biggest disruption that is going to take place because of artificial intelligence. And to my mind, this will be this kind of transformation, radical transformation, happens once in a generation. And this force will radically transform our lives in many, many ways. You know, there's one study which says that by 2030, this will generate, artificial intelligence will generate $15.7 trillion in the economy, which is more than the combined output of both USA and China put together. And there's a separate study by PwC which talks about India, which says that by 2035, India will generate 957 billion to its economy, which is 1.3%, adding 1.3% every year. Year after year, year after year, you'll be adding 1.3% thanks to artificial intelligence. And therefore, the sheer power of transformation and using technology to leapfrog really lies in our ability to both adopt and embrace artificial intelligence. And the reason for that is that India is amongst the few countries where the government has driven digitization in a very big way. So if you look at our income tax, almost 99.3% of the people pay their tax online. It's online, and 96% of it is cleared within 3 months. It's all digital. The new goods and services tax is all cashless, paperless. It's all digital. It's all digital. And the new Ayushman Bharat scheme, which is providing health insurance to 500 million Indians, which is more than the population of USA, Europe, and Mexico put together, is again, it's portable, paperless. It's all digital. It's all digital. And we work in the government on a public finance management system, what we call the PFMS, where every single rupee that we release till the last point is all digital. So actually what the government has done is to generate a huge amount of data, vast amount of data sets. And it's important that we use this data really to work out, to use the computing power, the vast computing power, use new algorithms to really drive a huge amount of disruption in the case of India. And that's the only way India can radically leapfrog. There's no other way we'll be able to leapfrog and catch up. Our ambition should not be just a $5 trillion economy. Our ambition should be 10 trillion, and in the long run, how do we grow at 9 to 10% per annum, year after year for 3 decades or more, to be able to lift a very young population above the poverty line. And that is not possible without using a huge amount of data, using machine learning, using artificial intelligence, and bringing disruption in a vast range of areas.
No, I think you spoke about the entire flow of money inside the country really getting digitized, whether it's taxes, whether it's PFMS, whether it is interaction, the accounts that have been created for a vast majority
No, and I
of the
didn't even tell
population.
you about digital payments and the disruption which was brought in, and we've it's been about a year and 3 months. I've not used my credit card or my debit card or my ATM machine, and the latest figure shows a sharp fall in the usage of ATM, almost close to about 17 to 18% fall in ATM machines. Everybody is using a unified payment interface and using UPI. We are either using Bheem or we are using Google Pay or Paytm or whatever. But we've created, unlike America, where you have data being owned by Google and Facebook, or unlike China, where it's owned by Alibaba and Baidu, in India, we've created large public highways. And on this public highway, we are allowing a lot of private enterprises to do a huge amount of innovation and using this data to do a lot of creativity.
That's fantastic, and I'm going to take that to turn a little bit because I think that creates opportunity for the country, it creates opportunity for the people who are coming into the job market in the company every month. Roughly about 1 million people come into the job market every month, the youth comes in. And a lot of skilling and a lot of enablement is required. So I'd love to get your thoughts on skilling.
The big thing about India is that we produce about 2.6 million STEM graduates. 2.6 million is 4 times the STEM graduates which the United States of America produces, 4 times. And we've seen this in the case of IT, that vast number of generalized training courses, something what NIIT did actually at one point of time, led to reskilling of our youth in a very big way. And to my mind, 2 things need to be done. One is that we need to disrupt our education system. We've inherited an Anglo-Saxon system of education where you study books, get into the next class, keep studying and doing books and keep getting into the next class. So one of the things we've done in NITI Aayog is to launch this Atal Innovation Mission, where we've opened about close to 3,500 tinkering labs. And these tinkering labs in schools, we've provided robots, 3D printers, Internet of Things, all from class 6 onwards. Huge amount of work has been done class 6 onwards, and we are planning to open about close to 10,000 tinkering labs in the next 3 years. And we've suddenly seen the innovative spirit of young Indians from class 6 onwards just leapfrog hugely. We had this innovation contest for students from IIT and for children from a slum school and for children from a public school. And we found that the tinkering lab which we'd set up in a slum school, the students there did better than the students from IIT and did better than the students from a public school in terms of problem solving. Because, these children are confronted with day-to-day problems. They are confronted with problems of water, they are confronted with problems of waste management, they are confronted with all the challenges of day-to-day life. And we, as Indians, must find solution to those problems. The Silicon Valley is the most innovative place in the world, but it has no challenges. There are no challenges if you go to Silicon Valley. And all the challenges are in India. The challenge of water, the challenge of garbage, the challenge of expeditious implementation of projects, every single challenge, how do you raise productivity in agriculture, how do you do better health management, all those challenges are in India. And actually we Indians, if we can use AI, data, machine learning to find solutions to the problems of 1.3 billion people of India, we are not finding solution for the 1.3 billion people of India, but for the 7.5 billion people of the world who are going to move from poverty to middle class in the next decade and a half. That's the vast segment. That's really the market if you can skill your workforce for artificial intelligence and cloud computing. And we will become really the garage for artificial intelligence. And that's what India needs to do. become the artificial intelligence garage for the rest of the world, to find solutions, frugal engineering solutions using artificial intelligence for the rest of the world, which the world has not seen.
No, so I'm fully sort of excited about that. And as you know, we were talking about the digital labs that Microsoft has launched in partnership with 10 institutes. And last week, we went a step further with ISB in really creating a unique center in ISB for innovation, for research, a new program for CXOs. So we are doing our bit to really partner on skilling, but I'd like to hear an ecosystem point of view. Do you see the skilling movement really picking up in India? What's working well, what's not working well?
No, so first, again, let me compliment you for starting 10 of these digital labs in 10 institutes, including ISB, and also doing an executive management course using artificial intelligence for, for executives, for private sector executives. That's very important because the process of manufacturing is all getting digital. I mean, it's all digitized. So if you go to Tesla, it's not a manufacturing company, actually. If you go to the floor shop, it's just not manufacturing. It's a digital company. It's, manufacturing used to be dirty, dark, dangerous on the floor shop. If you go to Tesla and see it, and I've done that, and I've gone to the Jaguar factory, they are they are better than any software company. They're better than you. I've been to Infosys, I've been to Tesla, and I've been to Jaguar factory. They're better than any software company, because the whole process of manufacturing has got digitized. From the consumer to the floor shop, everything is getting manufactured based on digital inputs using digitization and data. And therefore, it's not possible for India to become a great manufacturing nation without adopting AI, without adopting cloud computing, and without really disrupting the manufacturing process. And what it does really, what artificial intelligence does is that what we used to say that India doesn't have the size and scale to penetrate. Our labor laws have kept us back, our land laws have kept us back. Suddenly, artificial intelligence makes it an advantage. Technology can be used by small companies, medium, small, micro enterprises to produce to global excellence using artificial intelligence. And that is what it does in a very big way. And therefore, one of the key things is really to disrupt our education system and adopt AI and cloud computing at a very young age from class 6 onwards. The challenge really is that the government, in terms of organization and in terms of data, has moved progressively forward. The Indian private sector now needs to catch up with the government. This is one area where the government has really moved rapidly forward in digital payments, in GST, in Ayushman Bharat, in PFMS. All these areas government has moved forward very rapidly. But what the government needs to do is really put out a lot of data sets in public domain so that our startups, and we have about 500 startups in artificial intelligence, some of them are doing amazing work. I mean, look at this girl called Aditi who runs Imbibe. I mean, she tracks every student, every single student on latitudinally and longitudinally, much like we track Uber vehicles. And she's tracked students who lag behind in maths, physics, chemistry, and has provided extra dosage of education. And use of artificial intelligence in education has really led to enhanced improvement on learning outcomes. So this is remarkable. And look at what is happening in health. All the major disruptions that is going to happen. In India, 66 lakh families go below the poverty line because we are not able to provide them good tertiary care. Cancer care, all these areas require a huge amount of data. So we need to create biobanks, and we need to really drive this huge movement on health education. Or if you need a massive revolution in agriculture in terms of productivity, it has to be precision farming, and precision farming will all be based on data being used and farmers being told what seeds, what fertilizer to use, based on weather and soil conditions on a real-time basis. We work on a program called the Aspirational District. Aspirational districts are 115 of the most backward districts of India. We don't call them backward, we call them aspirational. The Prime Minister calls them the aspirational districts of India. We track their performance on a minute-to-minute basis on 49 indicators, whether they're going up or they're going down, and all of them are competing with each other. All of them are competing with each other. The data is being fed by third parties from Tata Trust and many other organizations who feed data on a real-time basis, and we declare their ranking every month. And whichever district does well, we award them as untied fund. And all this data is being analyzed through machine learning and through artificial intelligence now. So we are telling the districts where they are lagging behind, which area they are going up, so everybody gets to know. When I was a district collector in Kerala, I never knew how my district is performing. All the data was 6 years behind time. So now we get data real time. We are able to analyze, we are able to tell districts that this district is lagging behind here, you are lagging behind here in this area, but you've moved ahead in this area. So the collector can take immediate corrective action to move ahead. And that is what we need to do with this massive transformation. If you need agriculture productivity to increase, you need a huge dosage of data, seeds, fertilizer, all based on soil and weather condition to bring out a massive agricultural revolution. The next green revolution in India has to be the use of artificial intelligence in agriculture productivity.
That's so powerful and inspiring. And just to bring to the last section of the conversation, I think the center has done a lot of work over the last 5 years in really driving this focus on digital data, AI. And now it's really picking up in the States. You've got this AI Innovation Index that you have created, digital index that you've created for the States, and now the States are picking it up. As you know, today we launched the Digital Tech Tour, in which we are going out to 10 states and really helping the officials, government officials in the states to up their quotient of learning on AI and digital technology. So a couple of questions here. One, just to hear a little more about how is it moving on in the States, and second, your thoughts and any guidance you have on this tech governance tour that we've created.
So, you know, my belief always has been that the only way, you know, in a large country like India, where there, you know, we are bigger than 24 countries of Europe, and therefore the only way is what the Prime Minister says is cooperative and competitive federalism. And on ease of doing business, we were 142nd on the World Bank ease of doing business. We moved up to 65 positions. The first year we did it, Gujarat came number 1. Next year, Andhra beat Gujarat. Third year, Telangana, which was a new state, beat both Andhra and Gujarat. But the good thing was that states like Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, which were 25th, 26th, they jumped up radically and came 4th and 5th. So when you start comparing, when you start measuring, you start naming and shaming, and when you say that you'll put out data in public domain, you're making good governance as good politics and good administration. And therefore, across education, across health, many of these areas we've put out recently on water, we've put out how the states perform. And my view is that since artificial intelligence will be such a transformational force, once in a generation force which will transform India, it's very important to push the states, and they must adopt. And I'm really glad that states like Maharashtra have done some path-breaking work. They're doing some really path-breaking work in a range of areas, and even states like Telangana, Andhra, Haryana, all are adopting AI in a very big way. And therefore, this workshop which you do here, you need to take it from Delhi to the state capitals and to Tier 3 cities. That's where the real talent and the heart of India lies. And if you are able to create this big movement in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, India will really embrace and adopt AI.
No, I really am inspired by your focus on learning. I've said this to you in the past. The way you pick up things and the way you've been a learner on this journey is inspiring, and all of us need to be. I do the same myself. So just to close out, any summary thoughts you have for industry, for the ecosystem, and for us as we take this tour nationally?
No, so my view is simply this, that we are in the midst of the biggest disruption that is going to take place. Artificial intelligence will be the biggest disruptor in our lifetime. It's a once-in-a-generation force. The advantage for India is that we have a vast range of graduates who have done STEM education. The second big advantage in India is that we have all these we've already demonstrated in information technology a great ability to leapfrog across sectors. And therefore, this is an opportunity to really use artificial intelligence. There's nothing complex about it. It's about data, it's about machine learning, it's about using data sets, better algorithms which have come in, and the computing power to really drive. And we had got this, we've got a couple of AI experts from across the world who'd come and spoken to the whole cabinet, on all the ministers of the cabinet, on artificial intelligence, because the Prime Minister is himself a great believer in using the force of artificial intelligence. And therefore, the government wants everybody to adopt AI. Every government department must disrupt using AI. They must use the data available with them and use the power of many of our startups, as I said. If you look at agriculture itself, there's so many startups, Satcho, Valsar Lab, Way Cool. In fact, all the startups who are making it big across e-commerce, across health, across education, across sectors, they're all doing it because they're using artificial intelligence to analyze, examine, and take the right decisions. And that is the only way India can become a 5 trillion and subsequently a $10 trillion economy. And that's the only way we can take people above poverty line. Use the power of artificial intelligence to disrupt India in a manner which the world has never seen before. This is a rare, once-in-a-generation lifetime opportunity. Please use this opportunity to take India forward.
Don't lose this opportunity. AI is the path forward, and we will take India to 5 and then 10 trillion. Thank you so much, Mr. Kant. Thank you so much for an energizing start to the day. Thank you. Dheeraj will escort you back. I know you have to leave.